Hi, it's Mike Stewart with From the Desk of MikeStewart.com, another episode, show number 2. And I've been getting some questions from my Ask form, which I've now put below the video right here. So if you've got any questions you want to ask after you watch this video, be sure to come back to this website and ask the questions. But one of the questions was what are the different kinds of equipment, sound and video equipment that's needed to do online video? So I want to show you some examples right now of the different approaches you can do and what they look and sound like. Now this is about a $49 webcam with my lav mic. Now this is the same webcam, but I'm using a handheld stick mic. Now, this is using my camcorder instead of the webcam, but I'm using the microphone that's built into the camcorder. It really makes pretty good audio. It's a little echoey because I'm close to the camera, but it's not close to me. Now, if I was to back up even just this much, and sometimes you may be wanting to do shots where you're further away from the camera, can you hear how the sound gets real echoey? And that's not good, especially when you reduce it for the web. So that's why getting the lavalier mic will allow you to be able to do different kinds of shots. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm using the camcorder again for my picture. However, this time I'm getting the audio from a clip-on lavalier mic, which I'm going to show you here in just a minute. And the fact that it's clipped on my shirt right here is the fact that the sound will stay consistent no matter where I am in relationship to the camera, unlike when I'm using the microphone that's attached to the camera. As you can see, if you remember in the other clip, the further I got away from the camera, the sound changed because of the room sound and the distance from the microphone. But here I'm still being close mic'd, and if you can see, we've got a lot of cable here, almost 20 feet with this little particular microphone. I keep bringing the cable up here. I could get 20 feet away from the laptop because that's where the microphone's plugged in, and I could be standing back in the back of the room and producing a stand-up video. I could be walking back and forth if I had somebody running the camera. So it lets you approach more of a professional way of getting television sound like they do with wireless lavalier mics in a television studio. Okay, right now I'm getting my audio from using a handheld stick mic. And what this is great for is that if you were doing interviews, like if I was standing here or I was getting testimonials on battery power, that would be great. I could have my laptop, my camcorder, I could be sitting here beside somebody could be right here, and I could go, "How are you doing?" And I can move the mic over there and back and forth. And that's kind of like the way they do it, in the Academy Awards on the red carpet. They go, excuse me, could I do an interview? So stick mics are really good for interviews, testimonials that you're grabbing from people. In other words, that way you don't have to clip a mic onto their shirt. You can just say, hey, grab this mic, get in front of the camera, start talking with the microphone. And that's just another approach to getting good audio, because once again, if the mic has a decent length cable, you can get further from the camera, and you can get whatever you want to, because it's the whole issue of being close mic'd to get good television audio and audio that sounds good on the web like professional television. Okay, now I'm back to what my normal setup from the desk of approach, which is using my camcorder, and I'm using my professional microphone here, the bronze package. And the reason I use that is because this is a great sounding microphone. It's clean, it's quiet, and because it's out of the picture, hey, it's kind of like the late night talk show host approach to recording sound and video. So you've seen all the different variations, and you're able to compare them. You watch this video over and over again, and you can kind of get a good idea of what they sound like. Now, a word from our sponsor.
Thursday.
From Jim Edwards and Mike Stewart. Learn the basics to make full motion video content and screen capture video content, and our secret strategies that make us money. You can learn techniques and tools that we use to make short video content, like web commercials, relationship building video newsletters, online training, tutorials, video blogging, podcasts, and support of all kinds with these simple tools. The early bird offer ends this Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, December 8th, 2005. Be sure to go to websitevideosecrets.com. The special bonuses for this early bird offer will never be repeated. Well, I'd like to welcome you back, and I appreciate you being here on the show number 2 From the Desk of Mike Stewart. And I'm going to tell you that there's 2 things that you really need to focus on. The software and the tools and the techniques are all things that have a little learning curve. Yes, they do have a learning curve, but you know what? It's worth it to get control of that, because what that'll do is if you learn to use these tools, you're going to learn to be able to have a command of being creative. And whether it's a great camera or an acceptable camera or even a webcam, there's a possibility that you can achieve the goals with your creativity if you learn to have command of those tools. Now, I got a little story that I want to end with that's a true story that happened to me about 3 years ago. And it's when a young man named Robin Cowie called me up. Now, I knew Robin because he and his father used to come to my recording studio, and I used to write music for a lot of the productions they did. He went to film school in Florida, and then he had some friends in Florida and got a job at Nickelodeon, and I didn't see him for several years. And that was a good thing. He was a video producer at Nickelodeon. So he calls up that summer and he says, Mike, he says, I'm having a movie premiere in Atlanta, and I'd like you and your wife to come to it. And I said, a movie premiere? And he said, oh yeah. And he said, we shot this movie with a Hi8 video camcorder. And I went, oh wow, some movie. And here I am poo-pooing on his idea because I thought, how could he do a movie with a cheap camcorder? And and I went, well, that's really neat, Robin, that you've done a movie. And I thought, okay, out of respect to his friendship, I'll go see his dumb movie. But quite honestly, my mind went to a point of oh, how could this be any good? He used cheap equipment, and he's a kid, and how in the heck could he be creative? I really poo-pooed on his dream in my mind. Now, what got interesting is he said, I piped up and interrupted him and said, well, I'm into the internet these days. I'm building websites, and I really see a lot of opportunity with the internet. So let me tell you about what I'm doing. And he says, oh, no, we're very, very heavily using the internet. He said, in fact, we created a huge buzz on the internet about this movie that we've created. And I said, what's the domain name of your website? I'd like to take a look at it. And he said it was blairwitch.com. Can you say $140 million later, within about 8 weeks of that conversation? Listen, he turned Hollywood on its ears by proving that you could make a successful movie with a $300 camcorder. So that's my little story for the day. True story. Go to blairwitch.com, go to hacksandfilms.com, and read about Robin Cowie. That's a guy I used to write music for. And hey, anybody that can use the internet and a $300 camcorder and make $140 million, gross that much in a few weeks, my hat's off to him. So be creative. That's the lesson here. Until next time, ask your questions down here below, and hope to hear from you. And thanks so much for watching. I'm so scared of doing online video. Not